I think more than half of his life, towards fighting this illegal drug menace. Kaya masasabi natin that he knows what he is talking about, and when he says that this is really a big problem, you know that he understood and he understands what he mean by that. And tayo bilang mga ordinaryong mamamayan, dapat nakikinig at naunawaan kasi it's coming from somebody na talagang alam yung kanyang sinasabi by virtue of a very long years of experience.
Ang kaibahan ng dating Pangulo dahil nga tulad ng sinasabi niya, naging prosecutor siya, naging mayor,
Yes.
marami siyang karanasan on the field
Right.
kumpara doon sa mga nagsasalita na walang karanasan pero iba yung kanilang pananaw hinggil nga dito sa drug war.
Exactly. And I think this is the reason that validates his position. No? Dahil nga, yung sa lawak ng kanyang karanasan, sa dami ng kanyang nakita for himself, at yung mga problema na kinaharap niya on the ground, as a mayor, as a prosecutor, I think that gave him the necessary impetus, para sabihin that this is the only way and the right way, para talagang resolbahin sa lalong madaling panahon itong problema na to. Kasi nakita niya yung gravity Nakita niya yung pagiging malalim nitong problema na talagang sanga-sanga na, It's a very systemic, very, very deeply rooted problem already. And you cannot actually just simply rely on yung mga mechanisms na meron tayo para resolbahin ang isang problema na sa tingin niya ay talagang napakalaki at napakalalim. So, maybe this is the reason why he resorted to these things, and inamin naman niya mismo, sa kanya naman nanggaling mismo. And the good thing about it is that he is taking full accountability for everything, and he is not actually saying that the drug war is success in its entirety, Maliwanag yung kanyang positioning dito that for all the success as well as the failures of the drug war, he is actually owning up to the responsibility. So I think this is really good, insofar as a leader is concerned, na meron talaga siyang malalim na accountability, doon sa kanyang ginawa.
Oo, at ang maganda dito, Prof, ang sinabi pa ng dating Pangulo na it's a continuing problem. Although hindi man success, may mga failure, pero at least nasimulan ng kanyang administrasyon at pwedeng ipagpatuloy ng mga darating pang mga administrasyon dahil nga ang pagpuksa sa illegal na droga ay napaka matindi din at kailangan ng tapang na tulad po ng characteristic o personality ng dating Pangulo.
Exactly. Ang problema lang, medyo naging iba yung direction, nung pumalit sa kanya, ng current administration. Hindi para sa akin, hindi kasing decisive at hindi kasing tapang nung paggawa, o nung paglalatag ng ating nakaraang Pangulo. So, syempre, yung kumbaga kung meron ng momentum, syempre, alam natin at nakita natin na natigil yon sa ngayon. And hopefully, the government will try to really reevaluate and try to see again. Ano ba talaga ang dapat mangyari? Ano ba dapat ang dapat natin gawin dito? At sana maitugma nila or magawa nila yung pag-analisa na itong mga nagaganap ng mga street crimes ngayon is definitely associated with drugs. For instance, yung mga nangu-hold up halimbawa, bakit ba nila ginagawa yung pang-hold up? Because they're so hooked on drugs na wala na silang makuhang pambili, wala silang maibenta na kasangkapan nila, whatever. They will resort into those street crimes. Again, lumalala kasi nga nandoon hindi natin na-address yung pinaka-root cause ng problema, which is of course drugs pa rin.
Opo, at yun nga, pagkasabi niyang kung siya'y maibabalik lang sa pwesto, pwede niyang ibalik at ipatupad muli yun. Kaya nga nagpalakpakan doon sa loob, Prof. Although hindi yata allowed, di ba? Pero hindi napigilan.
Hindi napigilan pero it's not really allowed actually. And yun, pero ibig sabihin, nandun yung outpouring ng sentiment ng tao na ito yung hinahanap namin eh. Ito yung akala namin magpapatuloy pero nawala, no. Ito yung sanang gusto namin kasi we are peace-loving citizens eh. And we are against criminals, no. And we are against the lawless elements in the society pero parang hindi na sustain, ano. And I think this is the reason why, there was an outpouring of support not only in the gallery, not only in the Senate, but I think in the whole country, no. Nakita naman natin kahit sa SOCMED, no. A lot of people are actually giving comments that how much they miss the demeanor and the kind of leadership that President Duterte had for us before. So, yeah.
Pero ano bang nakikita mo ninyo, Prof? Hindi ba dapat ipinagpatuloy, hindi naman yata banta yung mga Duterte sa administrasyong ito? Sa katunayan nga, nagkaroon nga ng unity team, di ba? At ito namang mga programang ito para naman sa kapakanan ng taong bayan. Pero ano bang nakikita po ninyo dito? Bakit ganito na lang na may sudden change ng pagbabago ng mga polisiya, lalo na ito sa paglaban sa illegal na droga?
Well, for one, every let's face it, no, every leader, every chief executive would want to carve his own legacy. No, every leader would want to have that because you don't want to be attached to the legacy of your predecessor. Kasi you want to establish your own niche. No. And let's face it, the drug war, it will always be associated with President Duterte. I mean, nobody, not even one president in the history of the country, was able to come up with a more decisive stance against illegal drugs as compared to President Duterte. So I think if the current government took that path, ayaw nila, maaring ayaw nila na mabansagan sila na parang poor copycat lang nung nakarang administration, na wala silang sarili nilang flagship project na ilalatag. In short, wala silang legacy na makikreate for themselves. No? So I think this is the reason why they tried to reestablish their own path. No? Pero the point here is that sa akin kasi, no, for all the gains and the good things and the good deeds that a certain program has created, if you are a good leader, kailangan may pagpatuloy mo yun eh, no? Isa-set aside mo na yung iyong personal convictions to actually come up with a sustained program para yung nasimulan may pagpatuloy na natin, ano? So I think dito medyo talaga nagkulang, no? Iba at hindi masyadong naging vocal yung ating current administration as to how they're going to fight this illegal drugs, no? Hindi kagaya kasi nung panahon ni President Duterte, meron siyang mga nightly program na maalala natin, ano? And every time he talks to the public through this night shows, talagang very very strong yung message niya sa mga drug pushers, all of these lawless elements in the country, that is going to run after them. And yun nga, sabi ko kanina, merong parang subliminal messaging, no, na binibigay kapag criminal ka, talagang matatakot ka. Ngayon, sad to say, wala tayong ganun na nakikita.
Prof, isa din po sa mga na-discover natin doon sa Senate hearing, yung mga pahayag o revelasyon nitong dating hepe po ng pulis ng Mandaluyong na si Police Colonel Hector Grijaldo. At nabanggit nga niya itong dalawang congressman na miyembro po o co-chair ng Quadcom sa Kamara, si Manila Representative Bienvenido Abante at Santa Rosa Laguna Representative Dan Fernandez. Oo, na tinukoy niya na nagkaroon sila ng private meeting at pinilit siyang paaminin sa hearing sana doon sa Kamara na may reward system sa drug war ng Duterte administration. Ano masasabi mo dito?
Well, it was actually already echoed out by the President himself that there was no reward system. No? Hindi niya, sinabi nga niya, bakit ko sila babayaran kung ang trabaho ng kapulisan yon in the first place, no? So walang maliwanag na walang reward system, walang ganon. There was an order, no, coming from the President, pero even this order, hindi naman direktang papatayin or annihilate, no? Hindi ganoon eh, no? Maliwanag ang sinasabi ng pangulo na kapag ka nanlaban sila, syempre kailangan mong i-depensa ang sarili mo. Yun yung binabanggit niya. No? Pero hindi talaga outright na order na patayin mo yung mga yan. No, not like that. And the president was very, very keen even in saying na kapag halimbawa helpless na yung victim, nakatali, nakagapos, hindi mo gagawin yon. Because you see, he is trying to really paint the idea that there is still humanity amidst the drug war. No? Even if we're in that kind of situation already, nananatili pa rin yung pagiging tao, no? And that I think is something good. Now dito sa sinasabi ni
Grijaldo.
General Grijaldo, I think no, he was under oath naman nung binanggit niya itong mga statements na to.
Yes.
And I think we really need to investigate deeper into the matter as to the veracity and the truth behind the allegation, kasi nga maliwanag na kung talagang fini-feed sa kanya yung mga statements, there is really this I believe medyo hindi maganda yung impression na maaring ibigay nito sa atin, lalo na sa ating publiko, to discredit lahat ng mga ginawa ng Pangulo ng Pangulong Duterte during his time. Na parang they're trying to give us the idea na hindi tama at walang maayos na proseso, hindi nasunod yung tamang sistema kasi nga may reward system lang na ginamit. So I think we need to really investigate further on this. Hopefully the statements could be corroborated or investigated even further in the coming hearings.
Oo. Pero paano ito makakaapekto, yung implikasyon nito, Prof, doon sa nagpapatuloy na House Quadcom hearing?
Well, definitely, kung halimbawa talagang mayroon ng ganitong statement, na hindi naman pala talaga totoo yung binanggit na una na siya ay coerced lamang or he was only pushed to say those things, it will really create an impression that the Quadcom hearing is a very shady kind of hearing, na hindi talaga we expect to find the truth, in this kind of hearing. Pero how could we find the truth if the very people leading the hearings are the ones peddling the lies? So I think this will put a great stain on the veracity, on the truthfulness, and the integrity of that Quadcom hearing. So I hope that this congressman understood the complexity of what they did, kasi nga hindi ito hindi ito yung magiging hindi nag-iiwan na magandang impression, lalo na sa isang pagdinig na napakahalaga katulad nito, lalong-lalo na sa mata ng publiko.
Po. Prof, si Partner Admar, kasama ko po dito para po sa mga karagdagang katanungan.
Prof, magandang umaga.
Good morning.
Opo, malapit na po yung halalan. Ano po yung nakikita ninyo kung meron man na implikasyon naman dito sa development na ito sa Senate hearing with former President Rodrigo Duterte sa magiging takbo ng kampanya and mismong sa halalan po, ikukonsidera ba ito dapat ng mga politiko? Kasi nung nagsalita siya, talagang nabanggit mo nga, buhay pa rin yung suporta ng taong bayan sa ganung klaseng estilo ng pamumuno.
Right. Yes, actually, siguro isa-isahin natin, definitely in Davao, malaking epekto nito, lalo na President Duterte is running for the president in Davao, and he actually made a statement that given the position to be able to go back again, he will still do the same thing. So for the peace-loving citizens of Davao, this is something that they will really bank on, and that this is something that they will still hope that the president will deliver. And I think he will deliver this for Davao. There's no question about that. Ngayon, on the national level, ang siguro implication nito, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga kaalyado ng ating Pangulo na humahabol sa Senado, medyo big boost to para sa kanila kasi nga nabuhayan na naman yung mga yung mga supporters, yung mga diehard supporters ng ating Pangulo. And alam nila that if ever these allies of the President will be there in the Senate, magiging kamay sila ng ating Pangulo para ilatag yung legislative agenda na patungkol pa rin dito sa sa criminality and sa drug war na sinimulan nga ng ating Pangulo. Now, for the narrative of the other leaders na humahabol, I think they could capitalize on this by also including the drug war in their agenda kasi nakita nila na yung impression ng tao talagang buhay na buhay pa rin. Pag-usapin tungkol sa droga, pag-usapin tungkol sa peace and order, alam nila na direct yung effect sa taong bayan. So kung ikaw humahabol ka, you will use that as a narrative to propel your campaign and maybe, and I think the public will still buy it because direkta yung epekto nito sa kanila. Direkta nilang nararanasan yung problema. Kaya sa tingin ko in this elections yung mga campaigns will have the drug menace and the peace and order, the criminality as a part of their a part of their agenda.
Mhm. Prof, nagkaroon ba ng kasi ang napansin natin siguro ito rin yung nakikita ng ibang mga politiko kaya nagiging kritiko sila sa war on drugs kasi ang mas maingay yung mga sinasabing mga masamang epekto ng war on drugs at nagkakaroon lang ba ng silent majority na sumusuporta nitong war on drugs campaign at dahil nga mas maingay yung mga kritiko ng war on drugs kaya tingin ng mga politiko na dito yung paniniwala na ang taong bayan ay ayaw sa ganong estilo ng pamumuno.
Yes. Actually, I would like to think on that, because meron kasi silang data na pinipresenta regarding the casualties of the drug war, pero walang data kasi na magsasabi talaga tahasan, kung ilan din naman mga buhay ang naisalba because of the drug war. So ilan din namang kinabukasan ng ating medyo sabihin na natin na naitawid ng maayos because of the drug war. We have no data on that, And yeah, that's right. I think it's just the silent majority who will give validity to what this drug war was actually all about. So how has their lives transformed during the era of President Duterte? Paano ba sila namuhay during that time? And ikukumpara nila ngayon yung nararanasan nila pang araw-araw pag nasa labas sila, do they feel safer? I think this is not accounted for. Yun yung medyo problematic dito. Pero at the end of the day, it's really I think we need to go down to that level, dun sa ground, dun sa baba, para malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung general sentiment about the war on drugs. Because the success or the failure of a program is still incumbent upon how the people really were affected by the drug war, so or by any program for that matter. So yun yung siguro dapat natin tinitingnan dito.
Prof, sa mga naghain po ng kandidatura sa lahat ng posisyon, may nakikita po ba kayo na maaring susunod doon sa naging hakbang or pamamaraan ng pamumuno ni dating Pangulong Duterte?
Well, I think President Duterte kasi is quite a tough act to follow, Because the thing with President Duterte is that he is very sincere with what he is doing. And the truthfulness and the honesty is really there, Kasi iba kapag yung kandidato pinapackage mo lang to be like that. It will come unnatural, Pero iba kapag personalidad mo talaga yon. And nakita naman natin sa Senate hearing, whenever he parang stamps his fist on the table, mararamdaman mo yung galit niya, yung sinceridad na talagang galit siya dito sa drug menace na to na talagang sumisira sa bansa natin. Sa ngayon, maaaring may mga kandidato tayo who might be taking the drug war as a part of their agenda. But the question is how true and how sincere and how deep is their appreciation for this problem to the point that they are going to do a Duterte. You get what I'm trying to say na? Parang gaano ba talaga kalalim yung kanilang attachment dito sa problema na to? Na talagang decisive sila. At hindi lang siya piecemeal agenda, hindi lamang siya popularity agenda platform na gagamitin mo sa election, pero it's something that you really take to your heart. No, as a leader, this is something that you really want to pursue. So sa aking pananaw, no, wala ako sa nakikita. Meron mga nagsasabi na isusulong nila to, pero as to the depth, no, medyo wala ako nakikita, no. Siguro itong humahabol na or party list right now, no, party list, I think Bisayag yun, no, si Greco Belgica, no, nakasama rin ni Pangulo nung time na yon. I think ang kanyang magiging centerpiece project will be the drug war, the continuation of the drug war. No, I think he could be one of those.
Opo. Prof, gaano naman kahalaga sa isang botante yung pagpili naman or sa isang kandidato doon sa meron na siyang kasanayan after ng development na ito or experience? Kasi talagang naipamukha ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte dito kay Senadora Hontiveros yung experience niya at yung mga pinagsasasabi ng dating Pangulo ay batay mismo sa kanyang mahabang experience kumpara doon sa mga parang hindi pa realidad siguro or malayo sa realidad na mga pahayag ni Senadora Riz Hontiveros.
Well, the thing kasi, there's always the difference, no? When you look at something, at ang tinitignan mo lang at ang nakikita mo lang, let's say, is just the tip of the iceberg. No? When in fact, hindi mo nakikita yung nandoon sa ilalim. And I think this is the difference because President Duterte, being a fiscal, a prosecutor, a mayor, and eventually a president, he understood the dynamics, the ebb and flow, the condition, the situation on the ground. No? At alam niya kung gaano talaga kalala yung problema. That's why he took this to heart, no? To be the centerpiece of his administration when he became the president. For all we know, even during the time that he was still a mayor and he might actually have thought of becoming a president, he already had in his mind kung ano yung gagawin niya. Kasi ito yung nakita niya, no? Ito yung nakita niyang paraan na po pwede talagang gamitin. At ito yung pinakamabilis at para sa kanya pinaka-epektibong kaparaanan para talaga resolvehin itong napakalaking problema na to. And this is, yun nga sinasabi ko, the difference when you're only looking at a problem, no, from a very myopic perspective, no. The president, former President Duterte actually saw it from a very, very deep analogy, no? And I think ito yung ginamit niya. Kaya dito medyo he really made the Senator Riz Hontiveros feel na kulang talaga yung kanilang kaalaman regarding this problem dahil ang tinitingnan lamang nila is just a minute part, a very small part of the entirety nitong napakalaking problema na to.
And kay ganda rin na Prof, kung itong mga ganitong klase ng pagsusuri sa lalo na sa mga botante ay kanilang ma-instill talaga, no yung experience, titingnan mo talaga yung background, may napatunayan na ba ito? Kasi halimbawa, meron pong mga baguhan na pumasok sa mundo ng politika na meron naman talagang grabe na experience sa mahabang panahon. Hindi na ko lalayo kay Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy. Marami siyang mga exhibit doon sa kanyang mga nagawa na at pwedeng mai-apply sa buong na kumbaga parang hindi mo na kailangan kasi sasabihin nila ay baguhan yan dito tayo sa may pangalan na dapat nandun na yung level ng pag-iisip ng mga botante na sa kanilang pagpili hindi lang sila doon sa apelyido lagi, doon na sila sa may napatunayan na talaga may mahabang experience kahit baguhan siya sa mundo ng politika.
That's true, no, that's true. Because one of the things kasi that we're looking really is the track record, no, and the experience. Because you can never, you can never discount the years of experience. And kasi na-accumulate dito yung skill set, tsaka yung knowledge, yung kakayahan, to be able to navigate and apply this even in the political sphere. Kasi pwede kang napakatagal mo na sa politika pero hindi ka nakapag-establish ng isang niche na tinatawag, no. So that's really quite something else when you actually have the track record and the experience will speak for yourself. That's definitely that's definitely a plus factor. So maganda kasi na maitatawid din ito, no, if you're a candidate, maitatawid natin ito sa ating mga kababayan at makikita nila, no, na talagang kung ito yung gusto mo na maging core component ng iyong agenda, ng iyong plataforma, ano bang kasanayan meron ka para dyan? Ano bang skill set na na-develop mo over time para masabi na you are really an expert on this level, no? Kasi ang kailangan mo ditong ipakita is the expertise, no, sa ating mga kababayan. Kasi if you're banking on this agenda, hindi po pwedeng piecemeal eh. Hindi po pwedeng masabi mo lang nakasama to sa iyong plataforma. Ang kailangan na ipakita mo na decisive ka kasi meron kang napatunayan na, meron kang kayang ilatag at ibigay kasi ito ay bunga ng maraming taon ng iyong kasanayan, kahusayan na talagang binuhos mo para doon sa usapin na yun, no? And this, I believe, is what President Duterte actually has, no, for himself, no, that he devoted, I think, more than half of his life, no, towards fighting this illegal drug menace. Kaya masasabi natin that he knows what he is talking about, and when he says that this is really a big problem, you know that he understood and he understands what he mean by that. And tayo bilang mga ordinaryong mamamayan dapat nakikinig at naunawaan kasi it's coming from somebody na talagang alam yung kanyang sinasabi by virtue of a very long years of experience.